Where am I? Somewhere no one can hear your screams. Sounds like a date I went on once. And I'll let you all decide which person I was in that particularly very alarming scenario. Sweetness was written and directed by Emma Higgins and centers around Kate Hallett's Rylee, not of Ace of Spies fame, who is a young lady that is going through it. She doesn't really fit in all that much at school except for her friend Sydney. Hello, Sydney. Thankfully, Sweetness is much better than Scream 7. But you really would have had to have stumbled out of the goddamn gate, shattered both legs like Carrie Strug, and just tumbled into a goddamn wood chipper, and somehow you still would have gone better than Scream 7. That being said, Scream 7 is so successful as of this recording, they're going to do Scream 8. We will never escape Ghostface. Ghostface has nothing to do with this, but I just wanted to throw that in there. So anyway, Rylee, again, not of Ace of Spies fame, is obsessed with a band called Floorplan, particularly the singer Peyton, played by Herman Tomaras. I probably totally screwed that up. I do have to say that he does play the singer really well. Kind of an emo pop guy that almost is out of Good Charlotte fame, just with less hair. And he's also got some issues. Some issues that Rylee didn't realize that he had. But this obsession, yes, her obsession, is going to carry her to places she never thought she would go. It's an obsession. Oh, it's an obsession. And she's going to do a lot of things that she should not have done. Yes, it is one of those that ends up in a bit of a mixture of misery with maybe not as good as Lurker as far as the stalker obsession fame goes. But some stuff that particularly gets a little bit out of control and then very out of control, leading to massive amounts of logic loopholes you could drive a fleet of 18-wheelers through. But when I saw this trailer, I thought, okay, that looks kind of neat. And you know what? Despite the issues that this movie obviously has, it is a fun little indie thriller with a very good performance by Kate. I can't wait to see what else she does. I do remember her being in Women Talking. That actually was a very loaded cast, and if she's this good now, she's going to be very good in the future. I don't even think she's 20 yet, so bless her for turning in a performance like this. It's a layered performance that shows there's a lot of flaws on her end, a lot of flaws on Peyton's end, and also some pretty, monumental amounts of stupidity as far as the other characters go. That being said, if you can just, endure those, you'll end up enjoying Sweetness. I've seen some people down on this. I don't blame them in particular. I'm not saying the movie's perfect. And again, Lurker is far, 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 far better. Misery's far better. But this is a fun little indie thriller that has a few horror elements and a few bloody moments and does, again, feature Kate. And I do have to shout Anya as Sydney. I thought she delivered a good performance while she was there. Again, not a perfect movie, but it definitely is fun. So it is on Amazon for a few bucks if you want to check it out. But I'm going to get into spoilers. Yeah, a little bit quick, but that being said, 3, 2, 1 on Amazon, spoilers. So, being obsessed with a singer can lead you to some dark shit, especially if you let that obsession get out of control. It says it was filmed in Ontario, Canada. You can tell from the opening credits and from some of the cast members. By God, you can tell from some of the cast members. All due respect, but seriously, I have expected Dudley Do-Right to ride in on a moose. Man, his girl certainly loved that horse a little bit too much. That being said, so Sydney does like the band as well. Not as much as Rylee. And Riley's dad is a cop. More on that in a bit. He has a new squeeze, Marnie, played by Amanda Burgle, who actually isn't too bad in this. She's not given a bunch to do until one particularly funny sequence a little bit later on, at least funny to me. But after the concert, Rylee is left behind because Sid goes off with a guy named Chris. And then she ends up, basically out on the road. And, Peyton decides the best time after performing for this, venue that could not have held more than 1,000 people standing room. I mean, and seriously, those kinds of places give me anxiety. Because your knees are going to hate you, kids. They're going to hate you when you get older. That being said, she gets hit in the road because he's trying to go to a house that he knows to score some drugs because he is a drug addict. And she praises his music in the car. They go to the house where he's just going to be there for 5 minutes. And then, that particular thing doesn't work all that well because it's a little bit longer than 5 minutes. He comes out totally high off his tits. The illusion is shattered. He basically is, just passing out while driving, like Bam Bam Bigelow with his daughter. That's a deep cut for Dark Side fans. And she takes him to his house, or her house, that is. Not whose house, Swerve's house. They just leave the car, by the way, right at a corner where people, even if they're driving slowly, could still hit it, but it's fine. I guess Canadians drive a little differently than we do here in the States, where we drive just buck wild. And he being the dad goes off, somewhere for a weekend, but that being said, there's a limited amount of time for Peyton to be in the house. Now, the idea is they realize, oh shit, he has a drug problem. And Sydney, for whatever reason, goes along with this initially, where Peyton is handcuffed and Rylee really wants to save him. And I believe she genuinely wants to, despite her insanity. But the idea is that people are going to be looking for him, like his band manager, or tour manager, John, who is played by Stephen Ogg, who has been a good character actor in a number of movies. And yeah, they're now to detox him, or at least try to get the poison out of his system. Not like Brandon Lee did to the Mother and the Crow, but yeah, they do a silly little montage. The music, by the way, when it's not this, not Peyton singing, actually is not that bad. I mean, and I actually don't know if that is him singing. If it is, he's not awful, but he's not great. He tries to free himself with a push pin because he's like, I gotta get out of here. And basically the movie could be called I Can Fix Him the Movie. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. So now there is Easter service going on. Apparently Easter service is very popular and populous, among this populace that is, and I will get out of this hole that I dug myself in with my, inability to understand proper wording and grammar. Where, yeah, Easter service basically means nobody is home. And, by the way, he pissed himself while handcuffed because, oh yeah, not only was he passed out, but he probably didn't have control of his bodily functions. They get a change of clothes for him. Oh, she gets a gun from the safe because her dad's a cop. And, yeah, that'll calm things down. Well, he kind of gets the way to, get out of this scenario where he escapes. Sydney ends up suffering like a busted nose, and then he's running around the neighborhood, but nobody's there. Instead of just running down the street until you get to civilization, he's tries to run the houses, but she tackles him. Sydney hits him with a car, and yeah, now he's locked in the basement. But then Sydney is like, you know what? I tried to save you, but I want to get out of this situation, so I'm going to go. Okay, I won't go. Then she tries to go. There's this old lady with this dog that you might think might end up alerting the cops or whatever, but no. She's too obsessed with her dog and also was born in the 1800s, so I don't necessarily think that she's aware of how to call people. And she tries to calm Sydney down, she being Rylee, ends up smothering her best friend. Good job. This is where the movie probably loses a lot of people, and yeah, I can see that, but it's not all that bad. The dad, by the way, is totally, once he gets back, he is totally unaware that this stuff is going on, somehow. Nobody goes into the basement, I guess. Peyton kept performing because he wanted to be what everybody wanted him to be, but he wants to write other music, but then he gave into the pop stuff and the drug lifestyle and everything and stuff like that. Again, both have flaws. The thing is when addicts want to get back to doing what they are addicted to, they will come up with any number of scenarios to basically get back to that. So I have to say, as far as that storyline, I didn't mind how they handled that, and I thought, Herman played, Peyton pretty well. So she basically feeds him, gets him food somehow, goes to school. There are girls bullying her, and she kind of confronts them, but they're too gutless to say anything. She does tell one, maybe don't throw up your breakfast every single time. I mean, not wrong. Good way to get back at the bully. But then, cops are going to arrest her, except actually it's about Sydney, and just no debate about where the bodies went. I mean, whatever, it is what it is. Actually, Sydney's body is found a little bit later by a crick. That's how they're able to get that. And then basically, they're talking about, their various problems. He talks about his stuff. They both feel worthless. She lost her mother when she made the finals for something, and she got hit by an impaired driver. If she hadn't done that, hadn't been so successful, she wouldn't have gotten hit. Yeah, that guilt might weigh on you, but it's not like you led her to that. And she gives him the necklace that her mom gave her. He's also been writing in a journal, writing some stuff. And then Marnie shows up and tries to be a good adult. I mean, kind of pseudo-mother because she's dating the dad, but she's not her mother. And then she finds Peyton locked in the basement. This is where things get really silly because she goes up the stairs and somehow Rylee is there, hits her with a bat, and she then bashes her head and then washes the goddamn stuff away. And yeah, she's dead. The dad, by the way, says to Rylee, you can just talk to me. Yeah, I don't know if she can really get out of this situation. But then Rylee dresses up in something, and this harkens back to a video where this girl, how to talk to guys and everything, and saying certain lines like, oh, it's not too slutty for you, or whatever the heck it is. And the thing is, the actress playing Rylee, I mean, I get the point of this because she's supposed to be underage, and I think if I recall, she's got to be near 20 or something like that, but still, it's an uncomfortable thing, like in that, there's that one movie that I'm trying to remember what the fuck it was. Nah, I can't remember right now. There's been some, weird obsession movies with, an older guy and a younger girl, and it can make your skin crawl a little bit, but Peyton basically talks to her and everything and plays up to her obsession. Well, then eventually he gets away. He cuffs her to the goddamn pipe that he was cuffed to. And, this isn't love. He's not wrong. It's not. Again, he has got a lot of issues, but she is very much in the wrong here too. He gets in his car. She gets free. He takes off. And he's, playing the music, whatever. It was a nice car, by the way, and she's crying in the street. But then, nobody does anything. Nobody. Cops show up, this kind of stuff, whatever's going on. They find his car at the crack house, and holy shit, he's OD'd. He went back to all that. Instead of cleaning up his life, he went back to the thing that he knows. Didn't actually expect that ending. Actually kind of expected maybe he would turn his, life around, but he didn't. And then they're freaking out what's in the trunk. And what's in the trunk is Marnie's body. See, I actually thought it might have been Sydney's body at first, but I believe it was Marnie's body. Face was really bashed up, though, so I'm thinking it was Marnie. So, yeah, Jonah's not necessarily thrilled about all this. I wouldn't be either, especially with certain things implicated. Like the necklace being on Peyton's body and wondering what's going on. But a year later, there's still, there's still sadness over his death. And the tour band, or the touring mates, had done, a thing, like little docu-style thing with a bunch of footage they took while on tour. And another song became a Grammy hit in his honor. And she was like, we did it. And okay. Bit of a weird, I don't want to say neatly wrapped up ending, but it's like, okay, bit odd, but I guess it sort of plays on the obsession. And somehow she got away with this. I guess that might be the only thing that people have issues with, but yeah, that is sweetness. It sounds like I'm a little down on the movie when I'm actually not. I give it a B+ because it's entertaining enough, and Kate really does sell this whole thing. She actually pretty much carries this movie on her back, all due respect to the rest of the cast. So yeah, despite its issues, B+. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentlin, and until we revisit an obsessive fan base again, please don't be so obsessive that you kidnap people, at least with witnesses. Don't do it at all. Happy trails to you.